Welcome back to Cousin John Car Stuff. So I've had two first cars. That's right, two first cars. How do you do that? I'll tell you. The first car was one that I heard about at school. One of the kids who lived, about 3-4 blocks away said that a neighbor of his, the two sons who were in high school and about to get their licenses, were arguing and fighting over who was going to get to drive the extra car Mom and Dad had. And Mom and Dad told them, you keep arguing, we'll give away the car and neither one of you gets to drive it. We'll come up with a solution. Of course, the two of them kept arguing and fighting about it, so Mom and Dad naturally gave the car away, and I was asked, did I want the car? Have my dad called their dad? Well, turned out Dad wasn't around, but he talked to the mom and she was, yeah, come get it. This is what we decided. And Dad was home on the weekend, so got the car over to the house. 66 Ford Galaxy, kind of a candy apple red. Real nice inside and out, don't remember the miles, but could never get it to start. And I tried everything of what little I knew back then. Checked the distributor cap, the points, the plugs, the plug wires, and beyond that I didn't have a clue. But every once a week I'd have the battery charged up, try and crank it, close the carburetor choke flap. That wouldn't do it. Stick a screwdriver in there to hold the choke flap open. Maybe that would do it. Nothing worked. And I'd wash and wax the car about once a week, and Mom and Dad were gracious enough to give up one spot in the garage for me. So, time went by, never did get it running. It looked sharp as anything, though. A couple that my parents knew came over to visit, and the husband saw this Galaxy and he said, "Hey, that's a nice car. What are you going to do with it?" "Well, it doesn't run. We're not sure." And a few weeks later, the phone rings. It's one of the kids about my age, son of the couple that came over, and he's just wanting to chit-chat away, and I'm thinking, this is odd, we don't really know each other, but okay. And after about 20 minutes, he's saying, "My dad would like to talk to your dad." After a few minutes, Dad comes up to me and says, "Hey John, you were given that car, and he wants to buy it, the kid's other dad. How much would you want for it?" I said, "Well, it doesn't run." And Dad told him, "You'll have to find a way to get it home," and they lived about 30 miles away. Well, this rotten excuse for a human being. The other couple comes back out. He pays, give him the keys and the title. He walks out to the garage. "Is the battery charged up?" "Yeah, it's charged up, but it won't start." He says, "I think I can make it start." And the dirty son of a gun, what does he do? The starter solenoid is on the passenger fender well. And the two wires that go on the solenoid, he just switched the post that each wire was on, switched the wire. There was 2 wires, and he swapped the 2 wires to the other posts on the starter solenoid, put the key in, and the doggone thing started. The dirty, rotten son of a gun. And he had this smug look on his face, and My dad's got his mouth hanging open, my mouth is hanging open, and he's, hey, thanks, I'm gonna make a bundle off you guys. And he's a dirty, rotten scoundrel, because when they were over and say, hey, what's going on with that car? It won't run. He could have scored a lot of points with Dad, and they could have become real good friends had he said, oh, that could be the wires on the starter solenoid might be reversed. That's the word I was looking for a minute ago. That the wires were like this, and he switched them because they were reversed. And the suspicion was that the dad of the kids that were fighting over it reversed the solenoid wires so neither of the kids could start it and drive it. That's what it was. So, needless to say, and then this poor excuse for a human calls a few weeks later and says, by the way, if you find any more great deals like this, let me know. I'll buy them from you all day long. And Dad pretty much told him, don't ever call us again and you're not welcome in our house. Good riddance. So, I was working at a Volkswagen dealership, and I got to know one of the guys who was light duty tech, about 3-4 years older than me, maybe 5. And he called one evening, and this was before cell phones, but he calls one evening and says, hey John, got a car at the dealership for $75 if you want it. I'm, oh, you're pulling my leg. Nobody's selling a car for $75. And he's, yeah? A gentleman came in, wanted us to do some diagnostics on it, and he doesn't want it back, and he doesn't want to pay the diagnostic fee. And he told the owner, if you got somebody who wants to pay the diagnostic fee charges against it, give me their name and number, have them bring the paid receipt, and give that person my name and number. They show up with the paid receipt for the diagnostic charges, and I will give them the keys and the title, and they can take that car off your property. So I was, hey, Mom and Dad, what do you think? If you have enough in your bank account to buy it, that's fine. We're not buying you a car. Okay. And I didn't have a whole lot more than that in the bank, but went up to the bank, paid the diagnostic fee ticket. Dad took me out to this guy's house after calling him. You're going to be there? My son and I have the receipt, and I'm the one he told you would be coming out. And the gentleman was, yeah, absolutely. And I don't care what you do with the car, I just don't want it. I don't have time for it, I don't have room for it anymore. It's yours. Okay, thank you. So it had an exhaust leak, and this guy was such a good man that I was, man, sounds like a stock race car, something you'd see at the dirt track. And he's, yeah, well, there's a bolt broken off from the exhaust. I can drill and tap that, put in another bolt, drill and tap it, put in another bolt, pull off the, whatever the exhaust thing is, slap on a new gasket, snug it down, it'll be nice and quiet as it should be. It's going to be expensive. We're not at the dealership. Just give me a few dollars. I'm going to help you out so you have a car that's good and usable. Okay, thanks. So he didn't charge me but a little bit of nothing. And a few days later, or a couple weeks later, the battery went dead. Now, I wasn't going to hit him up for a battery, no. He's a good man, but I'm not doing that. I didn't have money for a battery. So, I had to park it on a partial downhill grade, which our driveway was, fortunately. Get in it, turn on the ignition, hit the clutch, pop it into second, pop the clutch, and it would start. And that's how I'd started each and every time. It was red as well, had the cloth sunroof. That thing was fun to drive. Mom and Dad weren't too concerned because top speed of that 66 Beetle with, I think, the 1300 engine, I don't remember. But top speed on the highway, flat and level, no wind, 64 miles an hour. Going downhill on the expressway, 73 miles an hour. Going uphill on the expressway, start at 64, be down to about 52. And driving in the rain, your feet would get wet because there were holes in the floorboards. But it was mine, it ran, it drove. And Mom and Dad knew I couldn't really get in trouble with it. So, that's how I had two first cars. The very first car I had didn't run. The Volkswagen was the very first car I had that ran and I could drive. So, that's how I had two first cars. And decided to advertise it. The man at the dealership that set me up with the Volkswagen Beetle said the boss got in this nice car on trade, or he had a neighbor was selling it or something, and did I have the money to buy it? I said no, and he's, don't worry about it, take your time. In the next 3-4 weeks, if you can sell it, let me know what you get for the Beetle. I think I can talk him into a price close to what you got for the Beetle. Can't remember if it was a neighbor or a car taken in on trade at the dealership, but in any case, that one was a 68 Galaxy powder blue, inline 6 250 and automatic, I think. Yeah, inline 6 250. And that one didn't get my feet wet in the rain, and I didn't have to push it to start it. But Dad met up with a gentleman who was more than eager to buy the Beetle. It served its purpose, and then I moved up to that 68 and kept that for quite some time. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Please like, share, and subscribe to help my channel grow. I'd be very appreciative if you would. Until next time, thanks for coming by again. See you next time.